So originally, I've been asked to do this with my wife to talk about our experiences with lockdown. But since lockdown's coming to an end, there have been other topics in the news which have come up. And the one has been the racial tensions which have been brought up because of the unlawful killings of George Floyd. Um, and thing is that I sit in quite a unique position because I'm of mixed background. My dad is Israeli and my mum is black from Brazil. So I see life through both sides, and I've experienced racism many a time in this country growing up. Um, but really, it's kind of the whole situation has struck a chord with me because it's brought me thinking back to a time where I felt like I didn't really fit in to the Jewish community. As a kid, I didn't grow up with a lot of Jewish friends until I was bar mitzvahed. Actually, I didn't have any Jewish friends. Um, and so, you know, obviously going to synagogue wasn't a pleasant experience for me, only because I would go to synagogue, not see anyone that I knew, and also, you know, understandably going through security as you do, you need to. Um, I just thought the questions that were being asked of me were a little bit much, like who's your dad, where's he from, where do you live, who do you know, who else do you know here? Um, that was a lot for me to kind of go through that kind of interrogation on my own when other kids didn't have to go through that. And then also to walk into synagogue and basically be stared at because you don't see many faces like mine in synagogue. So that was uncomfortable for me. But also, like later on, some of the language used by some people, and whether they meant it or not, I mean, nothing was meant to offend me, but the use of words such as Schwarzer said in front of me with no regard to my mixed background, that was also, that was always upsetting to hear. Um, but bringing it back to the current situation, um, and how we can make things better, I think the Jewish community is, for a small population, for a small group of people, is very successful most of the time. Yeah, often successful, and we champion, progress and being successful. And I think that as a community, we could play a bigger role in helping fight racism. Um, I think if you do own a business, now's a good time to look at your current workforce. And it's probably not done intentionally, but ask yourself the question, how many black people do I employ? If there are any at all. If you don't, then why? Maybe perhaps black people aren't applying for jobs at your company. Why is that? One thing that I know is that when you walk into a room and you see that there is no familiar face, then automatically you feel like there isn't a place for you there. So perhaps, the introduction of some kind of schemes, business initiative to get young black kids, it could even focus on black Jewish kids or, British Jews of color to feel more included in the community. I think would be a good thing. I think that would be a big step in, um, you know, in the fight against racism in general.